Hello everyone, I'm Raíssa and I'm bringing you now a new podcast of the blog Softball Não. This Saturday morning here in Natal, the temperature is 31 degrees Celsius, but it really feels like 34 degrees Celsius, so hot, hot, hot. And today we are talking about this situation in Brazil. Brazil is practically on fire because we had bad politicians around here, and we have all this tragedy that happened to the Chapecoense plane, the Chapecoense flight to Colombia. So we have all this commotion in the country, people crying with the images of players, managers, coaches, the crew of the plane, journalists, reporters. Wow, lots of people that died in this tragedy that we are living now in Brazil, and we know some information that some laws were broken in this case. But I'm not going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about the political crisis that we experience now in Brazil, because corruption is a number one problem here, and it's been a reality for so long in Brazil. And right now, let's not say right now, it's been 2 years, I think, that prosecutors, the federal police, they are investigating this scandal that is called car wash, that is Lava Jato in Brazil. This scandal that involves the biggest oil company here, the national company Petrobras, and all these politicians. You look around, you name a politician, wow, it's involved in this case. We have lots of corruption cases using this money from Petrobras. So I say that Brazil is on fire because we have all this atmosphere that comes from the last presidential elections that we have here, especially people that were in favor and against Dilma Rousseff. And we are still living this crisis because people still think that they are fans and they have to fight for this or that idea. And I always say right here that United States people, you can take a look at Brazil's situation, because you are going to live something exactly like this, with this atmosphere that you have there with these Trump's fans and Clinton's fans and all this recount and etc. We experienced that in Brazil, but you have to add all this corruption scandal that we have here. So we have prosecutors and the federal police investigating this, and what we should expect from our politicians is what we are living right now, is that they are trying they are trying fearlessly to stop the investigation. They are trying to intimidate the judge that is in charge of this case. They are trying to intimidate the prosecutors, the officers. So, they didn't even respect this moment of commotion that the nation is passing through, with this tragedy that affected all the country, all the world, that happened to the soccer team. But what did they do? They voted for something that will has the potential to change the course of the investigation of this Lava Jato, this car wash thing, this scandal that involves money from Petrobras, and all politicians. Most of the politicians in Brazil are involved with this, and so they are trying fearlessly. They are trying, no matter what, they are trying to stop this investigation, because they see the potential to get a lot of them, a lot of these bad politicians in prison for corruption. This is something new in Brazil. We have this role here. We have this model here that corruption is something that happens everywhere, but no one gets punished by this. And now we see a different line to follow. We have a different position of the courts in Brazil. We have a different position of prosecutors. We have a different position of the officers. So I can say that Brazil is on fire because these politicians are trying to stop the investigation, and people are again in the streets protesting against this. They are having the flags unraveled again to stop these bad politicians, because, you know, when you see the president of the deputy house saying that they don't have to follow what the people want, they can do whatever they want. You see that if we reach this point that the president can say something like that to reporters all over the world, is because they have no fear. They fear nothing. They are going to do whatever it takes to stop this investigation. So I think now is the time that population gets back to the streets to protest, because we have to get rid of this cancer that is corruption. And if these people don't respect anything, maybe they respect people in the street, because politicians, the only thing that they are afraid of is people in the streets, because they are afraid of losing their jobs. Well, that's the situation that we have around here. That's it for today. I'm not going to talk a lot today because we still have this commotion atmosphere around here, because the corpses of the victims of this tragedy of the Chapecoense flight, they have just arrived in Brazil. So we are expecting a big, great funeral, and so the atmosphere is still an atmosphere of commotion around here. So that's it. I invite you to listen to this podcast about soccer tomorrow. We are going to discuss a lot of things about soccer teams here in Natal, but also these questions of Chapecoense having to play, because the administration of soccer, the Confederation of Soccer here in Brazil, says that they have to play. So we're going to discuss this better tomorrow in Portuguese, of course. On Friday at 7, we talk about other things in Portuguese too. But if you want to listen just to this podcast in English, I invite you to get back here to this blog, Softball Now, on Saturday at 11:30. We'll talk again about other things. Have a nice weekend, everybody. See you there.